Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Ranting Redhead. I am the host, Aiden. So I'll get right into the topic today. The other day I drove a cop car. And before I complete the story, I'm taking another drink of my beverage of choice. Hold on a second. That's okay. That's strong. All right, here we go. All right. So the other day I needed to do a paper for school, right? And I was planning on doing it Monday night when I got home from school because it was due Wednesday morning. I get home and there's no Wi-Fi. I'm thinking to myself, God damn, that's really unfortunate. So what am I going to do? Because I live in a spot to where there's like no cell service. So I was like, okay, I get done work the next day around 9 o'clock at night. Once I get done with that, I will do the paper. It will take me half hour at the most. And I called. The Wi-Fi company said that the Wi-Fi is back on and ready to go. I said, terrific. I get home, and spoilers, there's no Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi. So now I'm really upset, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I have to do this paper. It's due in 12 hours. So, and number one, before I get people being like, well, why didn't you just do the paper sooner? I have other projects that I have to do for school that are due sooner. That's why I did not do it as soon as possible. Because I had other stuff I had to do. So I don't want to hear any of you man babies bitching out there, okay? So here we go. I get home, like I said, no Wi-Fi, so what am I going to do? So I tried hotspotting my phone just to get any Wi-Fi, and it started to work. But like I said, I live in a spot where there's no service. Barely any. So I'm on a Google Doc, and all of a sudden my paper kept stopping. The Wi-Fi would keep coming out. So I'm sitting there. It was starting to take me an hour and a half to do a 30-minute tops paper. I was there for an hour and a half, and I was starting to get really pissed. So, I mean, anybody who's listened to my show knows I don't care for the stereotypical redhead jokes, but I will say one thing that is true: redheads do have a temper when push comes to shove, because I got so pissed. I took the closest thing to me. I was sitting at my table, and it happened to be my keys. I didn't even realize. I just took the closest thing to me, and with all of my strength, I just slammed it on the ground as hard as possible. And guess what? My car fob came undone. So I'm like, well, that just puts even more salt into my open wounds. So then I'm like, oh, I gotta grab something out of my car anyway. So my car's locked. I go to turn it manually, and all of a sudden my alarm starts going off, and it's now, like I said, 10:45 ish. So my alarm goes off, and I'm like, I don't have a fob to turn it off now. What the frig am I supposed to do? So I go back inside. I'm trying to put the fob back together. The dogs are barking constantly. I can't get anything straight. I'm just like, oh my freaking God! Somebody help me. And, well, I don't know why, but I just ran out to my car. I tried starting my car, and as soon as I put the keys in the ignition and turned it, shut right off, but then I immediately took the keys out. So I try to go back inside doing my paper. I need like 2 uninterrupted minutes, but for some reason, no matter what, my my connection just was not going back. And I'm starting to get even more upset, and I'm very tired at this point. So I'm in my pajamas. I'm like, you know what? F it. I will take my computer and my phone. I will go to where I have service and do it. But I just threw my car keys on the ground and the car fob broke. So of course, as soon as I put the keys in the ignition, my car would start for a second, die right down. I'm taking another shot. Hold on. Okay. My car would die right down. And now I'm like, well, now I can't even get to school. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't get to school now. So even if I wanted to do my paper, I couldn't. Well, so I sent my teacher an email. It's like 11:30 at night. I sent him an email being like, the odds are, unfortunately, I'm not coming into school. My car is having problems, and I don't think I can get a ride. I did get my paper done, though. It finally came back on, finished it, all set, but I'm like, well, I am so screwed. I can't even get to school now. And I knew somewhere I had a spare set of keys. I had a spare set, but I just looked from the move, a couple of the boxes I still had. I just looked in there and I'm like, I'm not going to tear my house up looking for it because I know if I'm not going to find it immediately, I'm not going to find it. It's gone. So I sent my dad a message just saying, hey, would you be able to stop by here? Stop by the house before you go to work. He goes to work at 7 now. He just got a new job. And he had an old car in the back that he uses for his other job. But that car, I was not able to use, and we'll get to that. But he had his truck. Now, he could use his old car, and I was just going to use his truck. But I didn't expect him to get back to me that night. So I go to bed for like 4.5 hours. And I wake up to a text from him around 5 being like, no, I can't come over. Is everything okay? So I call him, say, hey, I just want to let you know what happened last night. And I need to at some point borrow your truck so I can go to a dealership, get a new fob. I know it's going to cost a lot of money, but I need to go do it. And he goes, well, if you really need to go to school, take my old car. Now, he has an old cop car. The only thing he doesn't have on there are the lights. He still has the siren. He has, like, I could talk to people. Like, I have it all. And so, but I said, can you use it? He goes, well, there's no brake pads, and it needs a lot of work, but if you're okay with that, you can use it. So I'm like, okay, so if I don't need brakes, I should be good. Terrific. So then I call my mom, just saying, like, hey, which dealership should I go to? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm about to hang up the phone, and I just happen to ask her, I'm like, by any chance, do you happen to have my spare key? She looked, and yeah, she had it, apparently. And I was like, holy crap, I did not realize that. So, she lives about 5 minutes away from where I had to go to school. So, I'm like, well, I gotta go take the cop car. So I'm driving around in an old cop car trying not to get pulled over. I mean, look, you can use this car. It's street worthy. It's got plates and everything. But I was driving around in a cop car. And I so wanted to put on the siren. There's one moment where I pass an abortion clinic where there's always one old lady hanging outside, acting like she couldn't make a casserole for her needy husband. And said, and I just wanted to so put on the siren just for a sec, give her a good scare. Maybe she'll jump going, bah! I just wanted to see her reaction. I thought it'd be funny. I didn't do it because I'm a good Samaritan, though. Um, but the best thing that happened was, and I got to school on time, surprisingly. But the best thing that happened was there was a state trooper that had pulled someone over, like, right in front of me. And as soon as I pass him, he, like, looks at me and just kind of, like, gives me a handshake. And I just give him, like, a little salute back. Because I'm also wearing these sunglasses that everybody says are my cop glasses. So I was in with the state trooper. So that's the story of how I drove a cop car into the heart of a city, and I didn't get in trouble because I'm just that awesome, I guess. That was great. And yeah, whenever the brakes were awful. There was no brake pads. It sounded like when your Keurig machine runs out of water. That's the sound my brakes would make. As soon as I just tap my foot, you hear... So that's what I'm having to deal with. So I'm pulling out of the parking lot of my school. There's many people just, like, staring at me because I'm just that awesome. And all of a sudden you can just... Anytime I tried to put the brakes on. So yeah, that's the story of how I drove a cop car. So anyway, before I move on to the, next story, I'm trying to get drunk because I have to be at work in the morning, and I don't like a lot of the people that I work with. So this is how I get through life. So let me take another shot. Oh. I am better now. I am a functioning man now, okay? Alcohol makes me function as a man. So, yeah. I wanted to tell that story, but I apologize for not getting more episodes out to you. Like I've said the past couple of times, I've just been very, very busy with school, and it's not getting any easier. But it's almost over this semester, and then I get a couple weeks off, so I can do as many episodes as possible, and I get to go back to work full time. So believe me, I'm gonna have a butt ton of stories to tell you. But now I want to talk about the holiday season because I am celebrating this holiday under protest, okay? Listen. I don't believe I don't believe in the holidays. I tell people that I'm seasonally Jewish, l'chaim, okay? Listen. Why should I be forced to celebrate something that I don't like? And of course, everybody's like, oh, you don't have to celebrate. It's not that easy. I'm going to tell you why. Listen, I am going to be an inspiration for all you people out there that don't like Christmas that are a part of it, okay? I am one of you. I can relate to you. I understand the common struggle. It's hard to be a person today. But I'm here to tell you that it is possible, okay? Listen, every time you don't want to celebrate Christmas and you're around people that want to celebrate Christmas, you get the common answer, oh, well, you don't have to buy me anything. But then they'll add in just to add insult to injury, but I'll get you something. Well, fuck off, alright? Listen, there's nothing more rude that you can say to somebody because then you're going to hold it over my head constantly. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. My sister's boyfriend, he got me a present because my mother calls me up and says, hey, just let you know he got you a present, so you got to get him something too. I'm like, isn't that stupid? I don't even know the guy's last name. I can barely remember his first name, and I got to get him a present now because he happens to be banging my sister? Get the fuck out of here, okay? But it's the same with anybody. You should not be forced to buy gifts for somebody that you don't want to. And I'm speaking as someone who does not, I am not one religion or another, okay? Listen, I will say this though, as somebody completely separated from the whole experience, a menorah looks better than a tree. I'm just saying, fire looks better. I mean, that's what the women tell me when they see my hair. Oh, fire looks better. That was a redhead joke in case you guys were too stupid or had branches up your ass to tell. But I know if you're listening, if you've gotten this far, clearly you're a cool person. But yeah, going back to the Christmas thing, the other thing I hate is the fact that you get somebody always standing outside of every department store going, ding a ling 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 with a stupid bell right in front of your face as you're trying to just walk into the store and not think about killing yourself during the holiday seasons. But of course you gotta add ding a ling 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 to add injury to insult, okay? And it's not great, and they give you that look like if you don't give them money, it's like, who are you to do this? Or you get the ones who are acting like me right now, drunk, okay? What a good way to represent Santa Claus. I mean, it's so awful. I mean, they are the representative of Saint Nick, and you know what they're giving me? A tumor with all of your ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-lings. Just fuck off. Get a real job, alright? Listen, I don't care what it pays. It probably doesn't pay enough, alright? But I'll tell you what, it's just not nice. It's not a nice thing to do to me. I am the only one who matters, okay? But I speak as the common man, okay? Us common people, we matter. And we don't need to hear your ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-lings constantly when we're just trying to buy a gift for somebody that we can't remember and get through the holidays that we cannot stand. All this talk about Christmas, I'm sorry. I'm taking another shot so I can forget about 59% of my coworkers. I'm starting to get used to that. That's a good drink. You know, this is what my life's come to. I'm drinking out of a mason jar. I'm kidding. And that's the other thing about Christmas. Why is it that you tell your kids, okay, there is a fat bearded man who is going to climb down your chimney and you need to leave him cookies? I'm just saying, anytime another fat old man breaks into your house, how is it that you end up calling the cops on him? Oh, but because he has reindeer that land on your roof that shits down your chimney? Oh, they're okay. They're an okay people because they have reindeer and they leave me gifts. Okay, so that's like saying That's like saying a fat bearded person could break into your house, steal all your objects, but you know what? He'll leave you a nice little bow on maybe a new DVD. Whoop de frickin' do. It's not cool. Christmas is not for a normal society. It's not, and I'm sick of pretending like it is. All right, like there are people I know that celebrate Christmas because they're like, oh, it's a great time to be with family. Okay, so I need an excuse to be with my family now. Terrific. It shows how much you care. Second of all, then there's the other people where it's like, I like getting gifts. Give me more. Yeah, yeah. Let me have more gifts because I am so important. Yeah. No, it ain't right. Actually, speaking of Christmas and people that I don't like, I watched a movie with somebody he's a cool guy. But I watched a Christmas movie, actually. It's the first Christmas movie I've watched this year. I did this 2 hours ago. I watched Christmas Vacation 2. Now, you may not know this. There was a straight-to-TV movie called Christmas Vacation 2, Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure or something. And let me tell you, it's not a funny movie at all. It is really bad. There's one saving grace to that movie, but it's not enough to seek it out. I'm using air quotes. I only bought it because, let's just say the opportunity was right. And I watched it, and the only good part is this guy named Ed Asner. He's actually pretty funny in it, but God, it is an awful movie. Like, there's nothing worse than bad comedies. I mean, other than Christmas, of course, because that's just the worst. And that's the other thing I want to say. This might be a very controversial opinion, but I gotta say it. I have a tradition with two other friends every year. We always get together. We have ever since, I want to say, the ninth grade, all those years ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth. I'm 21. And we would always get together and watch Christmas Vacation. Now, when we started the tradition, I loved the movie. Absolutely loved it. But now, I'm not going to lie, it's actually starting to really, really wear thin on me. To the point where I'm getting to the point now where I just kind of can't stand it. I hate the fact that it's everywhere this time of year. The jokes get so overplayed, they're not as fun going back to them. I haven't rewatched the movie since. The only reason the only reason I watch the movie is to watch it with them. And, because I'm a lonely person. I don't get out of the house that much. That not just because I'm a redhead, but that's the other reason why my skin is so pale, okay? It's because I don't get out of the house, okay? I don't have people to get out of the house for. So so I go see that movie, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm mostly there for the experience, for the fun at that point. But it's just a movie that it's really starting to just really go down on my list. It's one of those things it's one of those movies I actually watched all the time when I was a kid. I was 3 years old when I saw that movie. Same with the original Vacation. The only difference is the original Vacation is still hilarious. That movie, it's starting to go down a bit. Maybe it's because I'm just cynical and hate the holidays. I'm starting to get really swimmy now. I can feel it. So I think I'll take one more shot and see where this goes. All right, let's do this. This drink is awful, but it seems to be doing a decent job. So here we go. Okay, I am a professional. What was I talking about? Christmas Vacation. So another Christmas movie that everybody loves that I cannot stand is Elf. Elf is not a good movie. There is nothing funny about just seeing Will Ferrell going like, oh no, I'm an elf and I gotta leave the North Pole to find a purpose. Ah! It's not funny. He's just stupid. The only good part is James Caan because he's great in every movie. But it's just Will Ferrell being like, I'm gonna drink root beer and I'm going to save Christmas. Nah. There's nothing funny about it. Give me a break. Will Ferrell has never been funny in anything. All of his movies suck. Step Brothers eat shit. I don't care what anyone. That movie is god awful. I couldn't finish Talladega Nights. The other guys I might watch because I think Michael Keaton is in it. Old School was fine, but his movies are awful. Holmes and Watson was terrible. Although the trailer I thought was funny. But those were the only good parts in the movie. But Will Ferrell, never been a funny guy. I'm sorry to say it, he's never been funny. I don't care what anybody says. I would rather watch fucking Deliverance than Elf around the holiday season. I don't care. I'd rather watch anything than Elf, except for maybe, I think maybe, I don't know. At least Ed Asner was funny in Christmas Vacation too. Elf is awful. You know what other Christmas movie is awful? Love Actually. Love Actually shows like, oh, I am a rich white person and I could find love anywhere because I am so rich and awesome and I have a kid who can play the drums. I think that's what Liam Neeson's kid does. I'm Alan Rickman and I can buy somebody a watch or a CD, whatever the fuck it was. It was awful. Oh, Jesus. Everything about that movie is awful. And if you like that movie, take your copy of Love Actually along with you, tie it around your ankles, and jump off a bridge. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, but that movie is awful. I guess it's the same thing. This is a generational thing, and it's surprising because I'm a part of the target demographic generation. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey movie, everybody my age loves except for me. And I love Jim Carrey. But that movie is so bad. It's so ugly and terrible to watch. The only good parts are the same, I guess, good parts from, I will say this, another movie that you have to be within a certain demographic to like is Cat in the Hat. It is so bad, but it's so funny if you are in the right age. And I am a part of that age, and I will fully tell you Cat in the Hat is a masterpiece of comedy. It is so bad. And I love every second of it. The Grinch is not so bad that it's funny. It's just bad. It's awful. Jim Carrey is good in it. I actually think he does a really good job for the makeup performances and whatnot. I think the faces he makes are cool. Just the movie is terrible. Everything about it is awful. It sucks. It looks ugly. It's a really gray movie, and just the way it looks when it should be fun and bright. But no, it's got to be all. I'm Ron Howard, and I'm going to be a dark director. I'm going to direct Jim Carrey in a very shit movie that's somehow worse than Ace Ventura 2. That's what you get when you watch the Ron Howard's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And the same thing, another movie that you have to be around my age to like that I just don't like. I don't like things my age likes, alright? The Polar Express is actually a really cool concept. But it's so bad. It's so creepy to watch. The animation is horrifying. I remember when I was a kid, I liked the movie, but I always remember thinking that animation is it's so bizarre. It's weird. It's ugly. And I didn't realize it the first time I saw it because I was a kid, but the eyes are so dead. They're ugly. They look creepy. It's horrifying looking back at it. That's like the reason I mean, I will never watch that movie again, even though I think it actually has kind of a neat premise for a kid's, Christmas Carol Claus thing, movie, whatever you want to call it. I am not myself right now. I'm too drunk, but you know what? I will get through tomorrow a lot better. Listen, when you're like me and you're drunk and you just happen to be alone, you start a podcast called The Ranting Redhead. That's just the way life is. But going back to the Christmas thing, the only Christmas movie I think I'm going to watch this year for two reasons. There's two Christmas movies I'm going to watch for two reasons, and maybe I'll watch it as soon as I'm done recording that, or I'm going to keep watching Better Call Saul, but I feel like I got to be sober to watch that because it's a smart person's show. I think I'm going to watch, just for two reasons, I'm going to watch Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2, because Kurt Russell plays Santa Claus and Goldie Hawn plays Mrs. Claus, I believe. And look, anything with Kurt Russell is perfect. Anybody who knows me knows that anything with Kurt Russell is perfect. And if you think anything with Kurt Russell isn't perfect, then guess what? You are not cool. Alright? Everything with Kurt Russell is great, except for Tombstone. And let's see how many people get pissed off that I said Tombstone sucks. But it sucks. Tombstone sucks. Kurt Russell's great in it, but the movie sucks. So let's see how great the Christmas Carol could be, because I'm kind of curious what it could be. It's definitely one of those just cheesy freaking stupid, silly, Pampers friendly kids Christmas tales. But I'm kind of curious because, I mean, just look at Kurt Russell. I'm a straight man, but I love Kurt Russell, okay? Kurt Russell is the greatest movie star of all time. And I don't care who thinks that I'm wrong, because you know what? In reality, you're wrong. And I'll give you a Christmas movie to watch, alright? It's a near perfect movie. It's called, well, aside from Die Hard, that is a perfect movie, as we all know. And Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. But the second best Christmas movie of all time is called Better Off Dead from 1985. Now look, it's not really a Christmas movie. Not like Die Hard. That is a Christmas movie. They're just like Christmas is in it for a scene or two, but they're funny. And Better Off Dead is the most underrated comedy of all time. And that's gonna be my gag gift. It's from that movie. I'm gonna get my dad TV dinners for Christmas because we both love that movie. I mean, you ever just stare at a mason jar and realize that you just pissed your pants? I mean, that's gotta be really awful. Could you imagine if I've done that? Man, I wouldn't be as cool. I didn't do that, though. You'd probably hear it if I did. So if you ever hear just a slight urination sound, you know I've gone a bit overboard. But you know what? I'm committed to putting on a good show, alright? I'm committed to telling my story. I need to leave these documents behind. And with that, I will probably end the episode. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll probably do more Christmas rants before the holiday season is over. We'll see what happens. I do want to do as many episodes as possible. I will give you a tease for what is to come. I have 2 episodes planned. I mean, one of them's not technically an episode, but bear with me on this. Don't get your period and start assuming things, alright? I don't want to hear no bitching. Here we go. One of the ideas that I came up with, if you've seen one of my previous episodes, I did a Sylvester Stallone trivia contest, and I loved doing that. So now I'm putting 2 people against each other, and I am going to do Quentin Tarantino movie trivia with 2 of my college associates. And we'll see who can come out on top. The winner will get $50 and the loser will be made fun of for all eternity. Let's see who can win. I am talking Quentin Tarantino trivia. Let's see who will come out on top and who will be left just sitting by themselves for the Christmas season. And the other thing I have planned that will come out, this is a promise, Christmas Eve, I will air an episode of this book I got last year for Christmas, ironically, was called Nothing Goes Right the Night Before Christmas, or as I like to pronounce it, Nothing Goes Right the Night Before Christmas. That's right, it's a Rodney Dangerfield, The Night Before Christmas, and I will do it in my Rodney Dangerfield impression, which I've heard is okay. So you will hear me do all my Rodney Dangerfield lines, and I'll do them talking about The Night Before Christmas. We'll see what happens. Did anything happen? You'll have to tune in. I feel like I go into my Stallone impression when I do that. You know, it just kind of does this a little bit. You start doing a Stallone impression, it's kind of hard to stop. But yes, those are my upcoming events for the Ranting Redhead channel. I am sorry for this episode. If you'd like to see me drink more, leave a thumbs up. And tell your friends. Because that's all I need. Give me that gift for Christmas. Maybe if you hate seeing me glum around the Christmas season, you know what? Maybe spread the word to your grandma that you don't even talk to anymore. Call her up and bond over my channel, because God knows you need something to talk to your grandmammy about. And you know what? What a better subject to talk about than me. Thank you all so much for listening. I look forward to doing this again. I have so much fun doing this. Thank you all for listening. Have a good night. Bye-bye.